She knocked me in the wall and earlier.
So glad that was on microphone.
I like that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, guys.
Hey, buddy, how are you? Here, you got something for me.
It's a refund of my legal fees.
BJ,
Technically,
Well, yes,
Do what?
technically, it
Yeah,
it is actually.
sort of.
I'm not trying to be a joke.
didn't tell me about
Do
it.
it, well,
It was
yeah,
reality.
right.
Tell me.
It was reality. Do
Haven't
you,
heard from him. Might ask Michael
sorry,
if he's
I know
heard
that
from
seemed like that looked like I was like your boss or something like that.
When it comes to legals,
You be the
we're at
boss.
your beck and call.
Still.
If she hasn't,
So I don't think that's the same place.
Oh, but I mean,
Mainly,
you need to.
We've not heard
mainly
it.
because.
I just texted him.
No, she stayed.
Sometimes I can see
Check.
a twinkle in his eye.
That's
Just
fine.
one on
And
the
if
board.
But hadn't got here.
Walks
Right.
over.
and it ain't cleared bank.
Now,
Hadn't cleared the
No
bag.
twinkle. And
No
she's still
twinkle.
got violation. She's fixed it.
And there's that. I'll let her know.
you can.
So she knows.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the June 26, 2024 Kill Devil Hills Board of Commissioners meeting. I call this meeting to order. Invite everyone to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Throughout the town's history, our board has been blessed to have wise legal counsel guiding us along the way. It is with sadness that I must share the passing of our retired town attorney, Steve Michael. He truly embodied everything noble about the legal profession. His list of accomplishments, awards, and honors are too many to count. Steve was a man who believed in fairness and truth, family, and community. He will be missed.
Yes.
We extend our deepest condolences to Loretta and their family, and I ask that you keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And please join me in a moment of silence. All right. Our next item of business this evening is agenda approval. We have an agenda before us.
Mayor, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We have an agenda. Moving on, our next piece of business is a public hearing on overnight parking at beach accesses. Casey, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. As the Mayor said, there is a public hearing being conducted tonight. The rules of procedure for this hearing are as follows. Public notice of this hearing was published in the newspaper and posted on town bulletin boards and websites, which meets or exceeds statutory requirements for this subject matter. A copy of the public notice has also been filed with the town clerk for entry into the official record of the hearing. The town clerk is going to be recording all comments in a concise and brief manner. Submitted written statements are also recorded as part of this hearing and are made part of the record as long as they're submitted to the town clerk. Any speaker tonight would just come forward and introduce yourself by giving your name and address. No debates, of course, and there's a 3-minute limit to individuals and 5-minute limit for speaking if you're talking on behalf of a group. So with that being said, this particular public hearing will come to order, and it's called for the purpose of the Kill Devil Hills Board of Commissioners to consider the following: a town code amendment, overnight parking at beach accesses. The proposed amendment to the town code creates a new section under Chapter 72, stopping, standing, and parking, Chapter 72.05, parking in certain places and general regulations, Chapter 96, Seaside Regulations, 96.15A, Beach Access Parking, which would prohibit overnight parking at the town beach accesses from 12 a.m. midnight until 3 a.m. If there's anyone interested in speaking about this topic, just please come forward to the podium. Do we have anybody signed up? No? Okay. So if anybody's in the audience that would like to speak, just come forward. Doesn't look
All
like
right.
anybody, so
No takers. I
turn it
we
to the board
did
for,
receive a few emails in regards to this topic.
Yeah, I think the clerk has put a couple at your place and we may have received others.
Correct. Okay, well, based off our own research, and we've had, some pretty lively discussions on this topic already. We can open it back up to the board for discussion or action or what we'd like to, what's the board's fancy.
Want me to go first? It doesn't matter. I'll go first since I'm the most passionate about this. I think that 12 a.m. is too early, to prohibit beach access. I think that's something that, is, if you're looking to pass an ordinance to prevent a certain thing, one, it has to be enforceable. But secondarily, so I wouldn't suggest passing this just to create a deterrent. I don't think that's what laws are for. The other thing that I would say is if you're looking to punish a vacation home for doing the wrong thing that they're told not to do, the thing that all the management companies should tell them not to do, to go ahead and create an ordinance to do that, to solve that issue, and then just basically 12 months of the year punish all other residents of the town is just overbroad. It's not. It's the tail wagging the dog. It's there's no reason to do that. There are people that enjoy the beach after 12 a.m. I think 12 a.m. is too early. If you're going to do it, it may sound crazy, but and I don't even think this is necessary. But if you want to solve this problem, and at the same time, not punish all the residents that live here, I think that idea of, I'm looking at Kitty Hawk saying 12 to 3, and that's an interesting idea. I would suggest a 2 to 4 time period. 2 to 4 would effectively, be after everything's closed here. All businesses are pretty much closed, wrapped up. People that work are because there are people that work late, of course, they're all pretty much home likely by 2 a.m. And then also, if someone was to abuse the access by parking their car there, then they are now going to have to get up and move their car at 2 a.m., and if you want to make it 3 a.m., that would be fine. Even if it's just an hour, even if you were just prohibited 1 hour in the middle of the night, it will effectively do what everybody wants it to do. And that would be to make the vacationer wake up in the middle of the night to move their car at 3 a.m. It's not going to happen. So every officer now will know, hey, between 3 and 4, you see a car there, probably not walking on the beach. You know what I'm saying? Probably not. Probably is a overflow parking situation, and no one's going to bother in the middle of the night to move their car there. So you effectively do what everybody is claiming is such a necessary thing. I don't agree with that, but you effectively do that, and yet you don't punish those who enjoy the beach after midnight, which is so early, really, for a lot of people that work out here, and for a lot of people in general. I mean, everybody goes to bed at 8 o'clock, so enjoy the beach in the early 12 a.m. midnight hour is not really that strange in my book. I've been out there plenty. I imagine most of you have in your life, at least. So anyway, that's my position. I think permitting would be much of a challenge for everybody. So that whole idea, I don't agree with that either, because I think that'd be a challenge not only for the town resource wise, but also town for the challenge for the officers, and even the challenge for the citizens to get all their permits, and what if they change cars and what. So and then of course I don't agree with saying Kill Devil Hills residents get this, whereas Nags, like if you're stop or access at 12 a.m. and you're not a Kill Devil Hills resident, you don't have a tag, are we gonna punish a Nags Head resident? That would be first of its kind in a way, to say only Kill Devil Hills residents have tags to park at Kill Devil Hills accesses after a certain hour. Nags Head, that creates a little division on the beach, which I don't think we will ever want to do. So that's another reason why I wouldn't think the tags is a good choice. But this power hour, if this is really what you wanted to do, if you really want to stop people from overflow parking, that will work. This hour or two where someone's gonna have to get out of their house and move their car. Yeah, that's gonna work. If that's what you're claiming you want it for, then that will work. Other than that, it adversely affects too many people that enjoy the beach around midnight, which is, again, not late for most people, or for a lot of people.
Thank you, Commissioner McAvoy. I have a question for law enforcement. Has there been, I didn't see it in the package, has there been any discussion on if this were to pass, what will the fine be for people who are, how much would the ticket cost somebody who would be written on ticket for parking overnight when they shouldn't be? Is that any discussion? Not yet.
I think we would set the fine.
Well, you would have to set that. Okay.
And I think it's 50 Nags Head or something like that. So, it becomes a revenue generator, in my book, and then it becomes sort of an opportunity for, also stopping vehicles, but it becomes a generator of revenue for sure.
All right. Any other thoughts or opinions on this matter?
I mean, I think we have enough evidence and enough feedback from people in the town that we know it's an issue. We know that we need to do something about it. I mean, we have 7 emails before us. We had someone come and speak on it. No one's come to speak against it. And yet our evidence from our constituents is that it's a problem. And so I think, if 2 to 4 is what we need to agree on, then I would be okay with that. But something needs to be done. I see it. A lot of people see it. It's a problem.
I think 2 to 4 would be fair, and I'd also remind you no one's came to speak for it either. So I know we have some emails, but I'm just saying no one's here. No one's that. If people are passionate about something, they're here. And I know there's some emails that came into everybody, but what I'm trying to say is, if this was a passionate issue, I think we'd have a lot more.
I will say 2 people have stopped me out in public to advocate for this.
Yeah.
And out
Same here.
shopping. So
Yeah, same here.
So while no one's here tonight, that they certainly had no problem finding me out and about. So would anybody else like to speak on this?
Yeah, I wanted to say a couple of things. I think it's a problem too. And I'm convinced of that. It's not a first. So it's not something that has just come up as a first thing because Nags Head prohibits it. Kitty Hawk prohibits it. So we're not breaking new ground here. We're just maybe late to the game to realize that we got a problem. I'm okay with the 12 to 3. I did like the idea of the decal, that you exclude the resident and you can send out a decal, and it's not a big deal. You just put it in the water bill and you send 2 or you send 3 with each water bill, and they put that on their car and then they're exempted from it. I like that idea. I think it gives a place that people can go to the beach and not have to worry about it as far as our residents. Now, maybe some people from Nags Head are going to be the ones in our parking lot because they can't do it in theirs. So, I'm in favor of this with the permit. I'd like to see the sticker.
I'm also in favor of it with the sticker. I feel like it's a compromise to get around any potential people that might not like it. The time part of it, I do kind of agree with Commissioner McAvoy. It seems a little early, 12 a.m. to me. I definitely don't want to go anywhere near 6. I feel like you're getting into sunrise time as well. And so maybe we need to play with the time a bit, but I'm fully in on the sticker as a compromise to allow our residents to be able to do it. And as far as punishing people from other towns, I mean, if I parked in an ag set spot, I would get a ticket. So, I mean, it just seems fair to me. That's all I have.
Yeah, I agree. It's a problem as well. Like Commissioner Gray said, looks like we're a little late to the game compared to our neighbors. 12 to 3, 2 to 4, either time, I don't have an objection with. I also like the idea of letting residents have access to decals so they can be excluded. I do, when I think of decals for registration, I have something more in line of what we do for the recycling center,
Correct.
where somebody, at least they come in and make the effort to fill out a very simple one-page document and you get a sticker so we know which cars are registered. Just gives us a little more control. But yeah, I'm 12 to 3, 2 to 4, either way. I'm open-minded for times, but I do think it's a problem that we need to address.
And let me restate, and I'll make the motion. But the sticker being an exemption versus a pass, so to speak, then I'm not against that. But I still think I still stand by midnight being too early, and 2 to 4 being that period. So 2 to 4 with the sticker to exempt Kidlow Hills residents altogether. Sure.
Now, this is showing my age and my early bedtime, but bars close at 2 a.m., right? In town, North Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if they're
I don't know why I looked
open that
right
late,
at
they
Casey
can
when I
be.
asked that.
They
asked
can
that
be open
question,
that late.
but,
They stopped serving alcohol.
they stopped serving it. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's
That's generally
call.
when they
Yeah.
would shut
Might as well
down.
go home.
But right.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, there are others that shut down earlier than that. But I mean, none that I know of before 12. I've probably been to them all.
Okay. All right. Well, unless anybody would like to discuss this further, I'd entertain a motion.
Can I make one comment and suggestion?
Yes, sir.
Just because of what I've heard from a, let's say, amendment standpoint, I've heard time consideration, altering the time. I've heard a permit or decal, we'll call it. But as a caveat to that, Mayor Winley also brought up the fact that it's not going to be something they would need to apply, if I heard you correctly.
Yeah.
So I would try in making the motion to differentiate, if that's the board's pleasure, as to whether or not application is going to be necessary or if this is just going to be something sent as a matter of course to any resident.
Chief, want
Chief?
to say something?
Mayor, council, I would just like to, some food for thought with the decal. With enforcement, if we have an officer that rides through the beach access and there's 8 local vehicles parked there with OBX tags, and then there's an Ohio vehicle, there that is parked there in violation, it's going to be difficult for us to enforce the violation on the Ohio plate with all the other vehicles parked in there. Like, why didn't you write them a ticket? That's just some food for thought. Because if if anybody's drunk in that party from Ohio, they're going to give us, a hard time. So just
Chief, if we put it, I was thinking about that as well while we were speaking. If we were to put, say, we're going to have to put signs up that state the times in which people can park there, is adding something in parens that states except for excluding residents
Right.
with a permit, would that maybe at least
Yes.
help you guys in
Absolutely.
saying, well, there's a sign.
not that they're going to read it, but
Right,
they will.
right. But at least it would help. Okay.
It
Okay.
gives you a visual to refer to.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, because I've seen that in Virginia where they have, no parking except by permit or
Permit or-
whatever.
Right.
Right. Permit on what it,
Right.
And in
Parking
Raleigh
between the
and,
such and such hours unless by permit only.
correct,
Right.
Yeah.
correct. And,
And I just think this whole thing is consistent with the other towns. And, you know, consistency means a lot. And it's an evolution. And so we're, you know, evolving, and I think it's needed. Yep. Any more questions for me?
Thank you.
At the moment. Thanks, sir.
thank you very much. You know, and I understand what you're saying about the application, but I think you could just put stickers in a water bill and send it out. And that'll get to the residents. Then if they need more, then they can come get it, because I'm worried about how much trouble that's going to be for staff. And then I'm also worried about, are people going to say, well, now I got to do an application? You know, just a thought. Because you're going to have more labor, you know, involved with it from a staff level if they got to fill out an application, file it, and all that.
What's the easiest for y'all, or the most effective?
Well, you know, obviously sticking it in a
Mhm.
bill and not doing anything is the easiest, but we'll do whatever you would like for us to do.
What would
I mean, that makes sense
council
to
and
me.
mayor think about, like, maybe just passing this today 2 to 4 and then examining whether, I mean, because this is an exception to give residents that 2 hour back, you know. Maybe it's not necessary, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, I mean, I don't like any of this, trust me. I don't agree with any of it, but I'm just saying maybe it's not necessary. So maybe we could re-examine it once we see if anybody really
Yeah.
has
Like, see if
big
it becomes a
deal,
problem.
because
Yeah.
being that's not 12, I don't think you're gonna have many people complain. But honestly,
Yeah.
when it passed, or when news comes out, and I've polled friends and people, 12 o'clock is just too early, and Kildare Hills residents have grown used to that. You know what I'm saying? That we
But
have
if you're going to
that.
exclude them, it doesn't matter.
No, I know. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, maybe we wait to see if that's the thing, because I just hate to create another permit or another pass thing if no one even cares about those 2 hours. You know what I'm saying?
No, but
Because
what-
it's not noon,
what I'm
because
saying-
it's not midnight.
What I'm
Midnight-
saying is, it doesn't matter about the time if you're going to exclude the Kill Devil Hills residents.
Right. I guess my point is, I had a problem at 12. I like 2 to 4 being that.
But you're going to
enough.
be excluded. You can go anytime you want.
Yes. So that I'm good with that, and I'm liking the permit thing versus nothing. But I'm also wondering, are we also just creating a lot of work for everybody as well? You know what I'm saying? Maybe the pass thing is just creating more work. So if we have these 2 hours, you know, maybe those are the 2 hours where most people are not there. You
Well,
know?
that's why I had indicated to put it in a water bill.
Yeah.
You know, you just take a little sticker like you have for the public works.
Mhm.
Put 2 of them in a water bill and send them out.
It's fine for me. I'm just
The only
I'm
work
good.
is the person putting it on the windshield.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm good with the pass as well. Then we don't take anything away from Kildare Wills residents at
Right.
all. You're right.
Well, that was my thought.
We don't even take 2 hours from.
I think it's a good compromise, 2 to 4 with the pass exemption, and to get around any potential problems with applications. To Commissioner Gray's point, we put them in the water bill.
I'm good too for.
That's
Maybe
good.
instead of getting in that much detail, we'll just say we'll send them out.
Mhm.
The water bill may not be the
May not be
best,
the method. It might not be the
Right.
okay.
So-
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
but no application is the point.
Oh, goodness.
And I think for the purpose, if we're going that route, if for the purposes of a motion, I think it'd be sufficient to just say excluding town residents who have a permit or who have properly.
See, the
And,
water
and
bills go out,
remember, we talked about if they have additional cars, they just come up and get the permit.
right, but water bills go out at different times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so that's why I don't want you to get that.
Whatever
Mhm.
vehicle you
specific.
think is
Yeah,
fine.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve town code amendment overnight parking at beach accesses, which would prohibit overnight parking at the town's beach accesses from the now changed to AM to 4 AM. Is that correct?
Mhm.
And with the exclusion of town residents being permitted through sticker decal
Definitely good enough.
at the town's.
Definitely good enough.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gray makes a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
And we will make sure the signage has the
Yeah.
permit.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's a great point. And I think that would.
All right, moving on to the next item of business this evening is public comment. Now is the time we set aside for public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience to address the board on any topic of their choosing. We do ask when you are called upon, approach the podium, speak into the microphone, and identify yourself by name and address. Keep in mind, comments will be 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group. All right. Anybody sign up? No takers? All right. Not seeing anybody. We'll close public comment. Nothing to respond to. Town manager, do we have any ongoing business this
No,
evening?
sir, we don't.
Very well. Moving on to new business. Item number 1, town manager's recommended budget for fiscal year 2024, 2025.
Yes, sir. Good evening. The budget was presented to the board at the May 22nd meeting. You had public hearing and a work session at the June 10th. At the work session, through consensus, the board directed staff to set the COLA, the cost of living increase, at 4.2 from the recommended 4, and that's reflected in the final operating budget ordinance. All of this is available on the budget portal. People have had an opportunity to comment. We haven't received any comments, and there have been copies available at the town hall and at the Killable Hills Library. Staff recommends the Board of Commissioners adopt the budget ordinance, the sidewalk and multi-use path capital reserve ordinance, and consolidated fee schedule for fiscal year 2004 and 2005. And a motion would be in order.
I just want to 4.5.
It's 4.5.
Okay.
Increased it.
All right.
Yeah, it was 4.5.
Would anybody, any further discussion or questions in regard to the budget? Nobody has anything, and it is noted that the COLA will be, this year's COLA, 4.5%. Entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the town manager's budget as presented with a 4.5% cost of living. And new business item number 1.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Gray and a second from Mayor Pro Temp Ivy Ingram. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous vote. We have a budget.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Hey.
for the
Okay.
excellent work on that.
Yeah.
Very,
Hey, thank
very
you.
good budget.
Good job.
Good
Angel
job.
and Sam are in the audience. They
Very nice job.
very
Yeah.
hard.
Team finance.
Best one I've seen yet.
All right. Moving on, the next item on our agenda is committee reports. Anything to report
No
this
here.
evening?
None here.
All right, then next item we have is commissioner's agenda.
No agenda.
Nothing here.
All right.
No agenda.
Okay, next item we have is mayor's agenda, and I'd like to call for a motion to go into closed session. So we may confer with our town attorney and also discuss some personnel issues. If anybody'd like to make that motion. or
So
comment.
moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Dillon and Ivy made a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, head upstairs.
You're fine. It's really fine.
Just,
It's all good.
Commissioner Dillon.
It's okay. I like it.
Let's say, any of my guests that wanna come. Because we're just leaders. And you think for the and you can park there all day long. What do you mean? Just podcast. I mean, you can go to Staples or whatever. And say, I'm 42,000 a year taxes. The other thing is, you got a passenger side. You don't want to put another. People back in.
Yeah, of course not.
The hammer's got to be.
Hey.
So I was suffering right after you said you wanted to count, you make it on the passenger side. Because if you put them over there and you have like Candy's decal, or you want to catch it, that's too many. Yeah. You said you took my water bill. King Sister State is like 500. A fishbowl. Yeah, with a little note saying, parking at Prospect, put one of these in there for a week. If they're not coded to a plate, you're not a number. Right. You ain't never gonna know.
You're not looking up every
If
number
somebody
you get,
comes in
take
with
a
a
number.
driver's license and the local, there's not, there's people that are gonna come. But we still put this over. We send it to everybody in town, they get two, and it looks just like the dump sticker, and they put it there. It's gonna. Oh, man. It's not gonna be pretty.
Well, if we're talking about the dump sticker, I think that every house should get 2 dump stickers.
No.
I can't go use the dump because Kenny got there first. And that's some bull.
Yeah, how come I see him coming from Southern Shores with a trailer full of crap?
Probably my yard.
That's only supposed to come from Parkwood.
You better start following them then. Get on it, boy.
I mean, I agree with her. I do have to take stuff out of the little truck, put it in the big
truck,
truck, and then drive out.
And I would have my garage cleaned. Because every time Kenny went to work, I'd put 3 or 4 things in my car and go to the dump. But, I can't get a dump sticker.
I use the name trash.
Are the lights still recording? Well, I'm out. They're watching.
Chief said nothing.
For the record. See you. is really, you know, it says that you aren't getting any special treatment. Miss Candy ain't letting you through.
She won't.
That's exactly who I am. I came up in the little truck one day. I was like, really, Miss King? She's like, yeah. And drive all the way. I was like, can I come in? You're good.
One time she was giving. Katie and I pulled up and she was giving the people in front of us a hard time, like, wait, you know, turn around. And Katie was like,
She was
I love
explaining
that
the
job.
rules.
Katie was like, tell me when she retires. I want you to fly. She knows. And you know, 10 out of 12 months. This month, August, I'm there last season. And then
No doubt.
it's not as terrible.
I'm back in college.
Does Candy let you dump?
He won't even know. No, he just thinks it's part of the collection. Never out. Can relate. Can relate.
Kurt, have you told how many people watch the live series?
Usually it's a solid 3.
One, right this second there's one.
And it might be you.
No, I hope not.
But you can watch it back. I normally watch them like the next day. I'm like, oh man, I missed it again. And I get home and I pop it on the recliner. Turn it on. What's going on? And then I'm like, no. Like, should have been. Yeah, I'll really look like, what?
I was surprised people didn't show up for that.
Yeah, I actually did.
All the people who use the party hour asleep right now. Or on their working dinner shifts at the. That's it's really good. Like, Haley gets off like a check around in the morning, you know? I'm not saying he's going to cruise the beach, but.
Air conditioned equipment stuff. That's what I was just telling them. I was like, maybe a couple of times a year I was at the beach at that time, but I've definitely been at the beach. I mean, I just like couldn't sleep or whatever. It was like, oh, grab the dog, go for a walk, and
I know
better place
that's
to
like.
walk.
I remember meeting them. You know,
I think I was
People who bring the water.
Sunday, I didn't realize it was that long.
there's like beach seven or somebody's running at like 5
I mean, yeah, parties sometimes come up.
People are serving, you're not sure they'll go water.
Someone just got stopped.
If I got ticketed at Max that year for while I was surfing at 6 a.m.,
Yeah.
I would be pretty upset.
One of those,
Yes. Yeah, it was definitely way later than midnight. Yeah, I know, now that I'm exempt, whatever, you're in trouble now.
I know, I didn't know anymore. He's good.
I know you're a regular beach.
I know.
Yeah.
Sticker for you. Really?
Yeah.
It's free. You'll get weather, you get weather.
Yeah.
This was a cheap vinyl one. Yeah. It was just a basic thing.
definitely handle it.
They tried to break in?
He looks sad. There's probably more months, probably a lot.
What happens in 5 more months? I saw Deer County, no floats available this year, and they extended the moratorium. So no new applications, so quiet.
They're talking maybe next year, it's gonna be done. Moratorium's gonna be.
They're probably behind. Because
A lot piled up last year.
and everything.
Or, yeah, last year, yeah.
No. 7 or 8 years ago, there wasn't,
Oh, yeah.
as many down there, and it's too much.
Well, we just found that 3 in the last
You
year.
have to start it before you because then it's like.
You want it to burn, so that whole lot here.
This year, there's 18, 16, and then might not be the. Those was 18, 29.
You know, I'm not that far, I'm already, first of September.
Right, so it's, yeah, yeah. 2 months away. That's right. That's right.
So that's a good one.
And he's frustrated because he's so warm, they don't move.
Yeah, well, there has been a lot more, showing up that early than ever before. I mean, last year, like all through September, I saw a good couple of spots, good 5 or 6 every day. Right.
This was like work on that stuff, it was September, you see, residency, they, a lot of dairy farms, and they cut the corn side, basically, mow that. You know, they do it a little bit of stuff.
Higher, fire.
So that would go off my their pockets. They don't take the corn out, but that's right back. And then they cut later. Fertilize them. September up there, you have 55 degree morning or whatever. Unless you fertilize 83 degrees at 5 a.m.
Last, I was seeing all the board shorts and t-shirt and barefoot. We were sitting in the ditch, back on the property, dude. Rides over there, sitting with them, I hear the frost like. We're going to the mowing field and have a school table and dead, and all of a sudden, board shorts and t-shirt and barefoot, and Mr. Green jeans, skateboarding. You all right? Yeah, I'm fine. And he had about 8 million mosquitoes on his head, and I looked right back up and said, "Are you all right?" I was here, so
No green jeans. Summer, 2 years old, it becomes, it's easy, it's trying to sneak all of the. And then runs like, what is he doing?
Oh, he got me, brother. When you start slowly speeding down, but that's just speed.
You fire it up. We got spoiled with our boats all these years. Kids want to say, they want to say, check us all the time, and they really, she wants that and all that, so.
She doesn't want to check all of us.
So she's, because
I mean, apparently she's in the office, she's in the office. I ran into her last year. Yes, when the heat hit, she was down high.
I thought you were like seeing that wave. Right over those clam beds, Rob was looking for it. That's it.
Oh, it's out there. You need to come pick me up, so take me out of your box, I can straight around. Well, like, that's funny, because you come out here straight around.
And then the rest of the summer, like June is all good. Summer's here. Like, losing his heart. And then Fourth of July. And then it gets really hot.
It was. Yeah, you got me, that stuff free from my pocket. But yeah, I was like, I gotta go. Like he's talking to everybody, and I'm like, this every time you turn. You should have stayed here. I'm good. Somewhere down the road.
But for that 8 months, he had fixed that vacation here.
So, I mean, yeah. He said it. What's it for the? So, he was like, I got this troublemaker, no batteries. No batteries. Well, so we were fine. So he had to leave really hard line, and he could go pick him up. The guy, he switched the other battery. That battery lasted half the time. So we're on those other islands.
like call the big away.
Luckily, my kids. Not there.
This time here. There's some things that MasterCard's coming out and you're talking to you know what, the news, they've been settled at 30 billion. So they're gonna collectively pay out to everyone. And then the judge is put out on all pretty much indicated that might not be sufficient.
So, all you should do.
Unless it would be like our processor. It's actually insane.
No injuries.
I mean, there was a similar thing with AT&T or Verizon, or something where they rated everyone, like, just across the board, like, or something. Just because well, I would know. So if you had millions of customers, or you just have Ocean with a specifically ranked check. Honestly, I look at your paycheck. Just have fun, whatever. I did the same thing together. I started off. I went in, they went up to the PA yesterday, and I was like, okay. Looks like I budgeted this, clear got all that. And it's like, I said, but then I looked at the phone.
Eric? Yep, we're good.
Okay. We'll be in touch.
I don't.
Kitty Hawk finally started, they've not on their ordinance, but they've never had sign.
So we've got all these, and it's not out there, but they're looking at these things of record, and there's no signature where there should be.
But the new clerk finally was like, the new clerk was finally like, I'm not doing that, we're gonna need to sign these. I said, "What?" You have a clerk?
Tell the department there, except,
Thank you.
Already. She typically wears them like jeans she got from a thrift store that are probably in 36. She's a size 4.
Yeah.
What's the major?
She got into that Houseman School of Journalism there, which is just one of 6 national best journalism school in the country award. I think she's got a minor in that. And then she's gonna do special education. That's what I
I'm not sure if it was easy to do it. But you were just in the let's figure out how to get the things. Let's do it. Yeah.
We go to a lot of law football practices.
I mean, stairs are right. We did. I still got the innocent.
Still 30.
It's a third, yes. A third.
Bargain.
How would you do that anymore?
I think he's gonna.
Okay, just hold on.
Oh, do you want me to?
Alrighty.
No, I've good. I've read it enough. Okay, yes, all right. Mayor, I've read it enough times.
Oh, got mics on now.
Hey,
By the time I whistle.
Do we need a motion to end closed session?
They need a motion.
You can just gavel back, that's fine.
You got it, Sam?
And then do the report.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. In the board's closed session, the board confirmed with the town attorney on several legal matters, and he updated the board on KDH versus Beecher and Watson. The board then gave its direction. The Board of Commissioners then conducted a performance appraisal of the town manager and authorized Ms. Diaz to implement the terms of the evaluation. Okay. We are still on mayor's agenda, and a little more organized here. A couple of things to share. Right before our meeting, we had our Centennial Horse Rededication unveiling. The board had an unveiling of the town's newly painted Centennial Horse Pegasus in the town courtyard. It is fantastic, and we would like to extend our thanks and appreciation to local artist Cliff Dunn for his work, and to our buildings and ground staff who did a spectacular job on renovating the courtyard. It looks great. Next thing is everybody please mark your calendars, as I'm sure you have already done. Our Independence Day celebration, I want to remind everyone in Kill Devil Hills, will be hosting its annual Independence Day fireworks celebration on Thursday, July 4th at 9:15 p.m. at Avalon Pier. Fingers crossed we won't need to use our rain day makeup of July 5th. We do hope that you'll join us for this fun family event at the beach. If you're home hosting your barbecue, we'll also live streaming the fireworks, and links will be on the town website. So that's all I got to share. Next item on the agenda is town manager's agenda.
Yes, sir.
Town attorney,
sir.
not here. Consent agenda, please.
Yes, sir. Consent agenda, we have the minutes from the retreat on June 8th, the Board of Commissioners meeting on June 10th, budget amendment to appropriate funds for fleet maintenance inventory and Public Works unleaded fuel, and a budget amendment to appropriate the North Carolina League of Municipalities Wellness Grant, certificate for taxi cab operation. Lady Jane Taxi has changed their name, new owners, and approval of the consent agenda will record the board's approval of the request. Number 4 are memorandums of understanding and interlocal agreements. The first one is with Kill Devil Hills and Town of Nags Head for the 8th Street beach access MOU. Approval of the consent agenda will record the board's approval of a 3-year extension that expires in June 30, 2027, and authorize staff to execute the MOU extension as well as resulting terms of the original MOU from 2001. And then lastly, the Motorola Flex Card, Flex Law Enforcement Interlocal Agreement. Approval of the consent agenda will record the board's approval of this interlocal agreement and authorize staff to execute the terms. Staff recommends approval of the consent agenda as presented, and a motion would be in order.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion. We have a couple seconds to my left. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. The consent
Thank you.
agenda has passed. Now is our second session for public comment. Anybody like to say anything? Not seeing any takers, so we'll close our second session of public comments. No response to public comment, so I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Is Lady Jane still living?